Hello and welcome. Thank you, Father, for the day. Oh my goodness. Thank you, viewers, audience, listeners, all the people, how you are appreciated. And thank you for loving the stories that are being shared. We have a special story today, great conversation with seriously, a new friend that I met, I'm going to say 2 years ago. And the lovely Susie Taaffe, she spells her name different than just T-A-F. It's interesting because it's Taaffe. I love that. Um, Susie is incredible. She is a mom, a friend, a lover of life. She is, and this is what we'll talk about mostly today, the founder of Skanties. Yes, underwear. Incredible. But it's the opposite of underwear. Look how cute. You've got your cream. Look at these are all just some of mine. Let me say black. You can have wild colors. They're fun. They're comfortable. They're cool. They are the opposite of Spanx. Let's just say it. And I'm going to read to you something about Susie that I want her to talk about and why this came to her mind. So, of course, founder of Scanties, the anti-shapewear movement, redefining how women relate to their bodies. Isn't that refreshing? You've got softness and self-worth. Her background is in engineering, fashion, and emotional embodiment. She blends intuitive storytelling with radical comfort, my favorite, to invite women back into their natural shapes. Y'all, everything about this, are you already relaxing? She wants us to relax inside and out. Her mission, it's not just about underwear. It's about undoing the old patterns that we were taught to shrink into. Wow. I'm already relaxed. And listen, I didn't like underwear before this, just so you know. Susie, welcome.
Thank you so much, Carol. And I would like to second that I have found a lifelong friend in you as well. I just love your energy. I love you. I love everything about you. And I'm so excited to chat today.
Oh my goodness. I'm happy, y'all. She's going to come from Brisbane, Australia. She will be in the United States and a resident, looks like Laguna Beach. Excellent choice, by the way. And she and her three beautiful children, two at first, and then the third on the way. But I want you to please, y'all, listen up and breathe in deeply and exhale completely. And just let's listen to how Susie, when she realized that we as women, we needed this, we needed Scanties. Susie, how in the world did this come about?
I love that you just took the big deep breath there. And can everyone just take another big deep breath in? Because breathing is, well, so important to keep our connection with everything, the universe, ourselves, our hearts. And whilst I originally just designed this product for me just to solve some problems and I didn't really think too much about it, I wanted something comfy that gave me smooth lines, that was breathable, that felt like I was wearing nothing, like a second skin. So I did that, and sort of I'm like a problem solver. I just fixed the problem for myself and just went on with my life. And that was 2008. I created them and didn't even think boo of anything, of anyone else even needing it, that it was a commercially viable product, any of that. So off I went on my merry way and just kept making different versions of them for myself. What I can't sew, actually, I will preface it with that, but I have lovely tailors that I can tell my creations too. And what I found, so the reason it became a business was I was um, faced with an unexpected divorce, and my kids were only little then, so 5, 3, and 1. And so when something like that happens, you're not expecting it. You start to ask some of the big questions, like, what is all the point of this? Like, what are we, like, what am I here for? What is life about? So I think you get that sort of, I don't know if it's lightning, thunder, all of the things that sort of shakes you awake. And so I drill down to two things. We are here to live with joy and share our joy, to live in our peace and happiness and fulfillment. And the second thing is, we're also here to be of service. And the best service that you can be of is when you're in your joy. So with that in my mind, divorced, three young kids, I was okay. I am an engineer. I'm what we call in Australia a FIFO engineer. I fly in, fly out of really remote sites. So with three young kids, I couldn't do that anymore. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make this business into like a passion business because it's going to help women feel better in their bodies. And the real, because back in 2008, I was creating them to stop chafing. And chafing at the time, like it was a shameful topic. It wasn't discussed. It's discussed more now, which is fantastic, as a normal part of bodies, basically. I was going to say females, but men get it too. And so I'd realized, well, I could make this into a business and help women, like if you can just eradicate that out of your life, because what happens if you're walking down the street and you've got thigh chafe or you've got elastic that's cutting in and it's uncomfortable digging in, what it does is it starts that negative thought pattern of I'm not enough, my body's horrible. Like, it puts you into that thought. You're not thinking, oh wow, I feel amazing. It's like your legs hurt. You're not feeling good about yourself. So I thought it can just turn that switch off for women and then they can just like you just take a chunk of problems and just get rid of them, but not in an uncomfortable replacement, in a like we can't feel good about ourselves if we're feeling discomfort in our clothes. Everyone would know that. When you put something on it doesn't fit, you don't feel good. So
No.
so that was that part of the equation. And interestingly, then I was like, la da da, this is going to be fun. And then 6 months later, my ex-husband went bankrupt. So we lost everything. So I was like thinking, see, I had 6 months of like, oh, I'm going to do this as a little hobby and play with the kids and have all this fun. And then it was like, haha, no, you're not. Boom.
No, I didn't know
No,
this part of this story. Oh my
I
God.
know. And on that day that I found that out, I went into our frequent flyer account. So I still had access and I got all the frequent flyer points and I booked three trips to China. So three trips in that year. This was 2016. And I've used that trick. I call it backing myself into a corner. So I kind of have to do things because you can't change a frequent flyer trip mostly. Like they're not available. Like if you don't take that trip, it goes. So I think, and I should also just preface this that I did have manufacturing experience. So I wasn't just flying off into the unknown.
Oh, well, that was my next question. How did you know
Yeah.
where to go? Yes.
Yeah. So in our 20s, my sister and I designed and manufactured maternity clothing. Very random. I think I was trying to stop being an engineer actually, but realistically, someone pointed out fashion design is actually mechanical engineering.
I love
So I hadn't really segued that far, even though I thought I had. So we'd done that until 2008. And so I did have connections. It was 8 years, though, since I'd been there. So I remember watching on the plane on the way over the movie Joy. I'm not sure if you know that movie Joy, where she's similar. She's got divorced, young kids, ex-husband, no money, and she's trying to create the mop. And I was just there with tears streaming down my face just going, "Oh, I have no idea what I'm doing." And I think that that sums me up. I have no idea and I jump anyway.
Well, incredible. So you go over here, and thank goodness you did say you had a little manufacturing background and you had done the maternity clothes. So you went to one of your trusted sources.
Well, I didn't know they were going to be there. I was just like, okay, and so this is how I operate is instead of thinking of it as a big whole piece, I just thought, okay, let's go to the fabric markets and see if they're still there and walk around there and see what's still there, what's changed. And then the next step was let's go into where my tailor was and see if she's still there. And so I just did it little by little, So it wasn't so like it's still fairly overwhelming, but if you just do it like, okay, we'll just a bit like Jenga blocks. I think I operate like Jenga block. I'm just going to push that one and see if it comes out. Okay, now I'm going to push that one and see if it comes out. And so you sort of unfold, well, every sort of experience that I've like jumped off the cliff and then pushed the Jenga blocks on the way down.
Oh my gosh. And so it worked out. You found this incredible material there.
I did.
And
Well,
then you
this is
found,
there's
I
more of
mean,
a story.
yes, because here's the thing, Susie. It's so interesting because here you are, it's successful. You've created this fabulous product. You're solving many problems. To be comfortable, to back up to your point, to show up and be comfortable is half the battle. Any place we go, whatever we're doing, I mean, seriously, to feel comfortable in your clothing. And I'm going to start with especially your undergarments if you're wearing any, because that's what it's happened. Nobody can find anything. So you just don't wear any so that you're comfortable. It's crazy. And then you're kind of not, you're thinking, oh God, I wish I had on something underneath. You've solved a lot of the problems. However, you had 3 kiddos. This needed to work. And so you said, okay, here, I'm going to jump. This is something that's going to be good for people. I'm excited about it. I'm going to take this jump. So often people hear this is the success. They don't hear the hard parts. They don't hear that you took these steps and you were paying with the Jenga blocks. I mean, nobody knows that. So you go, you find it. And then how long before you had these precious panties to sell?
So it started as a side hustle. So obviously I needed money to live. So it actually took me from 2016 until I actually started selling and had my first big break towards the end of 2019. So that is
Okay.
quite a long time. I had a shipment come that was faulty. So I had to then get the so it was 3 years of like, oh my God, am I doing the right thing? Like I needed to find more money. I was maxed to the credit cards to the hilt. Like it was tough, but my number one sort of like driving force was this has to work because I know it helps women feel good about themselves. So that was just every day. It's like, I know this has to work. I know this has to work because there's been a lot of dark moments crying I have a crying stool in the kitchen by the Tupperware drawer
I
of
love that.
what is going on. I can't see like what, and just sort of, it has just been like, it all of that period was just like I'd be like moving $11.24 into that account so it would make $22 so it could pay that, or like all of like I have been there through all of those hardships. And I think I'll talk a little bit to hardships because I think one of the tricks that I used, which I thought was really helpful, is because I know you can't sit in lack and create abundance.
Mm-mm.
Like if you're woe is me, you're not going to get more of woe is me. You're not going to get the abundant life. So I had a little tip where I would put it on the shelf, is what I would call it. It's like I know it's there. I'm not ignoring it, but if I sit in it all day, it's not going to help me. So once a month when I needed to make everything work, I would put the woe is me down and I would sift through it and work out how we were surviving for another month. And then I would be, okay, now we're done. We're going to put that back up there and then go about my day creating and remembering why I'm doing it. And really the why evolved over time. I knew I was doing it to help women feel better, but the removal of the emotional shapewear came from, as you said before, number one, like half of our job is if we can feel comfortable in any situation, that is amazing. So I realized it's not the underwear is just one tiny part of it. What is all the emotional shapewear that we are wearing that is not making us feel it's the same stuff as the physical, but it's the not enough, the old belief systems. Like you and I both grew up in diet culture. Like everywhere we looked was diet, lose weight, be this, don't be you, basically. So I'm starting a revolution, and so many people are on board with actually, you is the point. You are it. You are a miracle. And I did find the statistics. We have a 1 in 400 trillion chance of being born. That is the statistic of us being born into this body. So I'm sorry, there you go. Like we, each and every one of us is a miracle exactly as we are. And marketing companies have told us for years that we're not enough so they can sell us stuff. So anyway, enough is enough.
Incredible. I mean, and maybe that's why we connected at such a deep level, is because, why I do what I do is I don't think people realize how important, what a miracle they are. Each one listening, watching you, and you have to go ahead and say yourself, we are precious children of God.
Mm-hmm.
We are miracles, and our stories matter, and we matter. And if we share and help one another, which is that is our common why. It's to
Yes.
help one another remember that we are these children of God and that we have a purpose. You're helping us getting comfortable, physically and mentally, to become more of ourselves, to discover what we have that we need to share with other people, not just women. I think it's incredible. We are in this day and time, and you and I met because of beautiful women. And that's wonderful. But it is also, like you said, men get chafing too, right? But but the truth of the matter is everyone needs to become more comfortable in order to realize, accept their gifts, take accountability for them, and share them. And I cannot. I'm one of 11 kiddos. A lot of the audience knows that, and I talk about it a lot. I'm so grateful for my mom and dad and my siblings. And I will tell you that I was always, and probably will forever, I'll have to put it to, like you said, put it on the shelf. They're pretty remarkable human beings and imperfectly perfect, as I'll say. I was always comparing. It does not matter. And so you're born comparing, and then you go out to the world and there are all these remarkable people. You don't look good enough. You're not smart enough. You're not, I don't know, you're just not enough.
Mm-hmm.
That is what we are told, especially when you get into the marketing companies. I love Scanties so much. I appreciate your candid sharing. It wasn't easy. For 3 years, you were trying to figure out, I know I'm supposed to be doing it, excuse me, but how am I going to pay my bills this week?
Mm-hmm.
What were you doing? What was your other job that was bringing income?
So I have a master's in finance as well. So I was helping with property investment portfolios, just helping them manage their property investment portfolios. So, and they were friends of mine, the guys who had the company. So it was the best job because they were really flexible. So if I needed to go to China or if I needed to go to somewhere, the US or whatever, to try and build this, they were really flexible. So I resigned from that job in 2020. So there was a lot of hustle, but they were so flexible. So it made it really easy. And that way, then I could still feed the kids and pay our rent. And so I did have that sort of cushioning me. And what I think also is I am lucky because whilst it wouldn't bring me joy, I did have engineering to fall back on. Like so I do have a safety net. So if any of the listeners are thinking you don't have a safety net, I understand that I was lucky because I had that. When you have a fallback position, I do think it makes it a bit easier to jump. Um, but it's still you can do it in slow increments, so you don't have to do it like I did.
Well, but the other thing is what you're telling, and I know that these amazing listeners are hearing this. You worked your tail off.
Yes.
So often it's like, oh, well, that she has such this beautiful life, and she's been in Australia, which sounds beautiful. And now they're coming and they're going to, you worked your tail off. You were a mom. I mean,
Mm,
that in and of itself is such an enormous job,
mm,
and it's, if people have chosen and have been gifted and have been able to become moms, every mother knows that. And I think that those that want to become moms and maybe that do not have kiddos, they want, it's a big enough, beautiful enough something on this planet that they know that too, even if they're
yes.
mothers. And so you balanced it all, unexpected divorce, which happens more often than people share, and you figured it out. How did the kids handle all this? You worked full time, you had a side hustle, you went to China, they kids know, right? How did they handle all of that?
I think the fact they were so young at the beginning made it easier, I think. I actually, when they're that little, they don't really like it, just whatever it is what it is, I think. They don't really question anything. I probably had more trouble with them when they were a bit older with the travel and being away when they probably needed mum more. Um, yeah, I would say in the last few years has been harder going away than in the when they were really little. So, and I must say though, I think, no, I don't think, I know. I can see it all rubbing off on them. Like my daughter
Yeah,
will do something and I'll realize, oh my God, she's pushing the Jenga blocks on me.
I love it.
She's doing it to me. She's like, what if I see if that one works? What if I see if that one works? What if I so they're little sponges and it really is like they follow what you do, not what you say. So um
100%.
so I can, and when I've got big, like we had a really big sales event, we had so many orders and my eldest daughter was there and she was in the production line and packing orders and ticking things off. And so I nearly think that life experience that they've had from being around it is like invaluable.
Ah, I can't even get over it. Really and truly, I'm thinking about let's just start with one of the largest lessons that you have shared with them is that energy begets energy, whatever that energy is. And you have walked the talk of, okay, I'm going to have a moment and get out the realities of the things that I need to cry. I'm going to allow myself to cry. And then I'm going to take these seemingly insurmountable things, and I'm going to look at them, figure it out for the present moment. I'm
Mhm.
going to put those on the shelf and I'm going to move into I'm going to get this done and remember why. And I'm going to push forward that regardless of what we all do. Again, I was talking about generational thinking today. What an incredible gift for everyone that has experienced you doing that. That's what they're going to do. Like they're going to come into hardship and they're going to say, okay, I need a fabulous cry.
Yeah.
And I have to look at this and then I'm going to put it to the side and I'm going to move forward in joy for this moment. I mean, I got to tell you, Susie, I don't know for sure, but I feel like you need to do a whole talk just on that. And then, so don't you know, and I say this knowing what pride does, but don't you know that those kiddos, when you had those big orders and they were helping and you had created all of this and they had shared you with the world so you could, that they were like, wow, mom, she's pretty awesome. I
Yeah,
mean,
I suppose. You don't think
I
about it though, do
can't wait.
you?
That's who I want to talk to next are the kids. Well, so I want to keep this going. However, I know the audience, everybody has to do what they need to do. Let What do you want to share with the audience? What do you want them to remember? Certainly, I'm going to remind them now and again. Oh my goodness, click on the link, check them out, get some for yourself, get them for gifts. I mean, look, I just brought up some of mine. Y'all, you can't believe it. you'll be able to celebrate yourself and think about this beautiful founder when you do that. Susie, what do you want to wrap up this wonderful conversation for the people with?
I just think we want to remind them again that you are a miracle and you are amazing and you are so loved beyond belief. And I would like you to repeat that in the mirror every day.
I love that. Okay, so let's say you're a miracle.
You are amazing
You are
and you
amazing.
are so loved beyond belief.
You're so loved beyond belief. Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Father, for sharing Susie with us. Thank you, audience. Whether you're listening, watching, share this, please, with everyone else. And she's right. You're a precious
You
child of
are.
God. You matter. Your story matters. Let's hear from you. And thank you again, Susie. Thank you, Father. Hook 'em. I
Thank
can
you,
wait.
Carol.
I want to talk to those kids, by the way. I have some good questions for them.